All right, y'all. For this one, we got Jamari. This can't happen. Y'all, please hit the subscribe button. Almost at 1,000, man. Let's go.
So it has been almost a year since I last talked about the Snow White situation, where an actress personally tanked the
I totally forgot this movie was coming out. Did it already come out?
release of a $100 million movie before it ever even hit theaters. This of course all came in the wake of several interviews lead woman Rachel Ziegler would do, where she was very critical of the original Snow White movie that she would now be starring in.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Now,
What the hell was that? What was that?
this was a surprise to people because at first she had seemed pretty grateful for this opportunity.
Every day on Snow White was a pinch me moment. I was surrounded by the best crew and the best people ever, and even just getting to see our director Mark today was just like, oh, right, we made a movie and it's really wonderful and it's yummy and it feels really delicious in my heart.
But then something
She had a bite of the film, bro.
would obviously change. And there were other instances where she would be caught straight up lying about her experiences with the film and with Disney in general.
I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Grew
so
up at the Disney parks.
It's part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing, so.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
Now obviously
Wait, whoa. To be fair, it did sound like she says that she grew up at the parks, not that she grew up on Snow White. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, just to be fair. We'll see. Let's keep going.
these interviews and the side-by-side lies would go super viral. And the Disney people are very serious about their movies.
Yo. No kidding. I don't know if y'all have been like to Disney World, like, or Disneyland as an adult, but they do got a cult-like following, bro. There's some people that will ride or die for Mickey or Winnie the Pooh. Right? And Winnie the Pooh could steal my honey, but it could be mine. All that honey could be mine, but he could steal mine, and people are still gonna side with him. But he stole it from me. That's my honey. Come on, man.
So they were out riding in the streets over this, looting the local Toys R Us. and
Wait, no
it
way.
seemed like
Wait, no way. Are you for real? Toys R Us ain't even a thing anymore. Wait, is he being for real? What is that?
riding in the streets over this.
They were riding
looting
on
the local
Twitter.
Toys R Us,
That's what it was.
And overall, it seemed like every time she opened up
No,
her
the Twitter
mouth,
fingers.
Weird.
it was hurting this movie and its future release. Disney in general
Haircut's
has had
wild.
issues with several of their live-action remakes, as they are mostly known over the last couple of decades for not being able to hold the jockstrap of the original films. And when people specifically speak about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney fans seem to hold it up in a very high echelon, as it is largely considered to be the origin of the full-length animated film, premiering for the first time back on December 21st of 1937. And let me just
Dude, that's so long ago. That was like during World War II or something, bro. Like, that's a minute.
tell you guys right now that these people love that fucking mouse. To me, it's almost like he has mind control on their ass that makes them fly all the way to California, spend hundreds of dollars on a hotel,
Or Florida.
$40 to park, hundreds of dollars to enter Mickey's asshole, and of course you cannot forget $70 on some stupid ass
Hey, I can't lie. When I was a kid and I went to Disney World or whatever it was, yeah, World or Land? I think we went to World. Oh, yeah, we went to Epcot, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that stuff was gas. It was fire. Would I go again? I don't know. It's been a mad minute, but it was fire. I can't hate, bro. I can't come on here and switch up on y'all, man. That stuff was low key gas.
last years with their $20 churro in their hand.
$20.
Screaming kids everywhere, long ass lines. Not to mention the rides kinda suck. I mean, I don't know, I just don't really see the appeal. But this means something to them, damn it, and so they were up in arms. And with damn near 100 years between the two releases of these films,
100 years is
some things
nuts.
are going to be changed. But when that change comes at the core messaging of the film or some of the main characters, I do feel like people are pretty much always going to have a problem with that. For example,
no matter what,
this other woman, Gal Gadot, were out bragging about the fact that this was no longer going to be a love story, but now it was going to be a tale of women's empowerment, calling the old film outdated and creepy.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage.
What does that mean, though?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely...
You know, a really simple solution to this is to make all parties happy. Instead of catering or calling it like the original Snow White, just add like a subtext to it. Like, you know, like Snow White Chapter 2, or I don't know, Snow White this, and that. That way you don't upset your core audience, and you also expose them to something new. You just leave the original Snow White alone. I mean, you can literally do both and kill two birds with one stone. You know what I mean? But I think them switching over to, you know, a more modern style, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to just think about your core audience. That's all. If the core audience doesn't want it, then don't give the core audience that. Don't try to pull in a new audience. Pull in the audience that you already have, and then you can pull in some additional people. And if you want to make a spinoff, or you want to make something different, you want to go in a different direction, you can still title it the same thing, but just give a subtext to it. That's it. I don't see what the whole issue is here.
Dated when it comes to the ideas of
soft.
Women being
People soft.
roles of power.
Also, the fact that she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's the proactive one, and she's the one who set the terms.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for, like, modernizing the film, but to me, there are plenty of other Disney movies that are kind of all about showcasing women being badass, with kind of the core message being that a woman can do anything a man can. For example, you got Mulan, you got the red-headed chick with
Jasmine,
the bow, and I'm sure there's many more. I'm just really not into Disney like that. Either way, when an early scene from the movie
is this?
People everywhere were wondering why the hell they swapped out the iconic seven dwarves to replace them with the...
Yo. Oh man, how they spent $100 million to make this? They ain't making their money back. I think this is where you gotta draw a line. You gotta draw a line at some point in time. What is this? Dog. They couldn't actually get like actual dwarves or whatever, like, you know what I mean?
Justice League of Diversity. Now, personally, I would have loved
Justice
to see
League of
actual
Diversity
dwarfs being used in the making of this film, and I'm sure
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. They could have got
well-loved characters helping the actors out with their careers.
Nuts.
You know, it's not like there's
I'm
a whole
yapping
lot of
too
work
much,
for
my
little
bad.
people in Hollywood, and this decision would prove to be a bad one. In fact, so bad that at first Disney lied and then had to double back to admit that this was the plan to use this weird cast of characters. And the outrage was actually so loud that Disney had to pretty much go back and refilm this entire movie, making it a $100 million blunder as they would now use CGI dwarfs instead of the Justice League crew.
They couldn't just get real. Bro, what are they doing, bro? Bro, Disney is fumbling, bro.
And now
What
they
are
won't
they
even
doing?
be calling them dwarves anymore, and they will now be referring to them as magical creatures. In fact, they took the word dwarf straight out the title. Regardless of Disney's attempt to right their wrongs and steer this massive ship in the right direction, sometimes the waters are just too choppy, and no matter how you try and navigate a situation to try and fix it, the damage has already been done, and it goes down like the Titanic. It's like when your friend keeps going back to that toxic ex who keeps cheating on him. Like, good luck with that, dude. We already saw the trailer and we know how this shit's gonna end. Now, speaking of trailers, over 10 months after all the drama, and a year after most of those interviews, the newly released version has come out, and it's actually rumored to be one of the most disliked videos in YouTube history. As you guys can see, the new
You could wait. You could get a Chrome extension and see like how many dislikes some have, right?
release date is around a year after the original rendition of this film was set to come out.
March 25.
Here we get to see the CGI dwarves in action, cleaning up her room. I guess she just sees them as her little slaves now. Grumpy, you f***ing clean the toilet, you bitch. Obviously, we get to see Snow White played by Rachel herself, as well as the evil queen, Other Lady, and in general, people were still upset about this.
Wait, what's the
as
trailer?
You can see by the dislikes.
Dang.
And most
Wait,
of
how do you see dislikes on YouTube?
the
Like,
negative comments I saw, which was pretty much like all of them, were mainly about the new CGI solution to the dwarf fiasco. I mean, just based on the trailer, this looks like just about every other Disney live-action remake we have gotten recently, a mixture of real people and
I felt like the Lion King one was goated though. I'm not gonna cap. The Lion King one was pretty good.
shitty CGI. Like I said,
What is
something
going
Disney
on?
has been known for a very long time. I mean, there's so many examples in their various movies of the CGI just not looking natural at all in the real world environment.
Oh, what is that? Come on, man.
Like Roger Rabbit was looking better than this shit, and it's going on 40 years old. But I mean, hey, I might be biased towards Jessica Rabbit, cause goddamn, you know, back
Yeah, boy. Who remember?
hey, I would flip on that Cartoon Network, Roger Rabbit would be playing. I was like, should I be watching this? And don't get me wrong, I understand wanting to get a new generation of kids into something that is very successful for an entity like Disney, but there is always a right and a wrong way to do so. For example, back when I was a kid, I loved baseball.
Okay.
And one of my favorite movies was a cult classic film from the 70s called The Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
A raunchy comedy about a ragtag team of misfits who tries to compete in a tough little league division. I already loved this movie, and in 2005 when they made an updated version to it, I couldn't have been more excited. And while the two movies are obviously different,
From the School of Rock. Okay.
as the new one had been brought into a modern era, especially with its humor, it still held close enough to its source material that it was very enjoyable. Whereas Snow White seems to be dead on arrival, based on decisions made in not only the creation of the film, but also by the lead character's offset. I really do think that Disney forgot about the sunk cost fallacy here, and they really should have taken this movie out back and shot it once the original negative feedback started rolling in. Now
They should have just started over. They should have just started over. They tweaked, bro. They tweaked.
it really just feels like them showing up to a party that
Or
they
just
weren't
not
really invited
talk
to.
about it.
Just look at how these two have changed their tone towards each other since that first interview only a year ago.
I'm always grateful, and I have to pinch myself for the love and the appreciation and the respect that we get from our incredible audience. So
I was just about to say she is not having it, bro.
yes, I'm very, very lucky, grateful, and privileged for all
She kind of
this
looks
love.
like
I
Senna.
mean, Rachel won't even look her in the eyes at this point. After all the heat she's received from this whole situation, I wouldn't be surprised if she despises both her, this film, and even her.
Bro, you really have to think about your core audience. Like, ignoring your core audience it's gotta be one of the dumbest things you can do. Pay attention to what your core likes, right? And then go from there. If you're just gonna blatantly just flat out disrespect them, you gotta understand these people that love Disney, that's gonna be watching this movie, Snow White, you know, it's not just going to be kids. And more importantly, kids probably don't even know about Snow White for real. Like the original. So you got older individual, young adults, you got adults, and you got the older individuals who are going to watch this movie, they're looking for a live depiction of what they already know Snow White to be. When you come out and say it's going to be something completely different, and you trying to fit the needle, or hit the target, I don't know what you're trying to do, create a new target audience, you're flat out just blatantly forgetting about your core audience. If you don't like the core audience, don't call it Snow White, call it something else. Or if you do call it Snow White, say this is not related to the original story, this is something completely different. Man, bro, they got me out here yapping on Yapple phones.
Her part in it, as what was supposed to be one of the biggest roles of her career and a true breakout opportunity, could now put the nail in the coffin of her chances at stardom. I mean, when you really think about it,
That's
if
unfortunate.
everything would have gone right,
They should have not talked about it.
Might be watching for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about future generations, but then something.
Oh my God, bro, I did it again. My bad. Chat. This always happens, bro. My finger, I get it like a little twitch on my finger. My finger just and just slams on that key.
Like, I'm talking about future generations of people going back and showing it to their kids like they did with the original Snow White. And it appears these two also might have tension due to their widely different political beliefs, which they both seem very passionate about.
What's
so
their political beliefs?
If their relationship has soured at this point, like milk left out in the Texas sun.
That means the chemistry gonna be bad. What's the political beliefs? What do you mean?
Disney just stop making
I thought they were on the same page.
renditions of their classic movies. In general, remakes usually have a hard time recapturing that magic of the original film. And I really do think this Snow White, which you would think would be destined...
I promise you, Disney can make something successful in a remake if they just stick to the script. Don't change anything. Just stick to the script, my guy. Who cares? Just stick to it. Like, look how Lion King played out for you. I thought Lion King was pretty good. I don't think they changed too much.
for success is probably going to be a pretty big flop for Disney after they just kept pouring so much money in. I don't know, I guess that's kind of why I dressed like this today, because I knew it was kind of going to be a funeral for Disney. But either way, y'all let me know what you guys think. I do want to thank you guys for
Disney
watching
better
today's
still be
video.
around in the
Like
next
and
20,
subscribe
30
to me,
years.
but as you guys know,
Maybe.
Spinny Boy the Tan Superman and some other
I
Mickey
don't know.
Mouse drama out here needs to be covered. So I'm out. Peace!
Yo, W video by Jamari, bro. I think Disney just needs to stick to the original script of the movies and shows, and I think they'll be fine. Hopefully Disney's not something that we lose because, you know, they are trying to do too much. We'll see, though. I don't know. All right. Love y'all, man. Hey, please hit that subscribe button. Help your boy get to 1K. I'm going to catch y'all.